Let's look at this numerical on annuity with a guarantee for which I have to compute the final premium. Okay, life insurance company issues an annuity to a life aged 60 to provide an annual income of 15,000 which is payable monthly in advance. So 15,000 actually is paid. 15,000 is the annual income which is paid monthly in advance. Okay, guaranteed to be paid for a period of 5 years, which means 15,000 A5 guaranteed to be paid in advance on a monthly basis. So this is the payment guaranteed for 5 years and for whole life after that, right? So it is paid as long as the person is alive. So when I say as long as the person is alive, it is as good as the probability that he is going to survive, right? What is the probability now? 5p60 v power 5. This is the probability that he is going to be alive, and I would also say at that time his age is going to be 65, right? So this is the probability that he is going to be alive. So after that, this is the payment that is going to occur. Now, irrespective on the annuitant's death, a survivor's pension is paid at the rate of 7,500 per annum for the remainder of the life for the spouse of the annuitant whose age is currently 55. So here there are two situations that are coming out, right? This is as long as the annuitant is alive. These are the stuff. Now two things that can come. Annuitant could have died during the 5 years itself, but the lady would have been survived. So how do I look at that? Right, in that case 7,500 would be paid. Let's say if the annuitant has died 5Q60, if the annuitant has died during that 5-year period, but the spouse is alive during that period, in that case it is going to be 7,500 for the life of the spouse. It is going to be 7,500 for the life of the spouse. So she would be receiving something around this. And one more scenario that might come out is, let's say both of them are alive for the first 5 years. Okay, so both of them being alive for the first 5 years, 5p55, 5p60. Both of them alive for the first 5 years. After that, I am only bothered about the 65 560, means this is as good as a double dot 60 minus a double dot 65 colon 60, the joint probability status of the two typically going off. So these are the four. See, the times how the payments are received is, first of all, think of the male. Forget about whatever happens in the first 5 years. There is a guarantee of 15,000 that would be received. So this is the amount direct. Then the second part is, okay, after 5 years, let's say the male is still alive, irrespective of whatever has happened to his spouse, he would be receiving. So the present value of all those benefits until that party dies is somewhere around this. Then let me think about the possibilities where the annuitant has died but his spouse is alive. In that case, in the first 5 years, so the probability that the annuitant has died, the spouse is alive, in that case 7,500 would be received as long as or until the spouse is alive. The present value of expected present value of the spouse being alive is somewhere around this. Then assuming that for the first 5 years both of them are alive, after that as long as the spouse is alive but the annuitant has died, the present value of that is being received by the spouse, which is multiplied by 7,500. So these are the four scenarios for which I have to really look at the computation aspect. So let me start off with the first thing, which is the annuitant part. Right, so probably these four are the payments. So what I'll look at is four phases. The guaranteed payment, which is coming out to 15,000 A double dot 15,000 A double dot 5, and this I'm looking at it as 15,000 A double dot 5. I'm looking at it on a monthly payment basis. So obviously I know the formula for A double dot 5 on a monthly payment basis. If I have to look at it, it is nothing but 1 minus of V to the power of 12 by D12, sorry, 1 minus V to the power of 5 by D12. Right, so this is what comes out, 1 minus V to the power of 5 by D12. So I have to really make the necessary computations here. V to the power of 5, 1 by 1.04 to the power 5, 1 minus V to the power of 5 by D12. Yes. So D, first of all, I'll get it as I by 1 plus I. So D is coming out to be this. Then if we remember the expression 1 minus D12 by 12 to the power 12 is equal to 1 minus D. So from here 1 minus D12 by 12, 1 minus D12 by 12 comes out to 1 minus D to the power 1 by 12. Right, and D12 by 12 comes out as 1 minus of 1 minus D to the power 1 by 12. This is D12 by 12, and if I want D12, it is 12 times this. So 12 times 1 minus of 1 minus D to the power 1 by 12 will give me D12. So if I am trying to compute the D12, I'll write it as 1 minus of 1 minus, or probably 12 times, initially let me start 12 times 1 minus of 1 minus D to the power 1 by 12, which works out to 3.91. This is my D12. So from here I can very well find out the first part, which actually comes out the guaranteed payment now. The guaranteed payment for the first part comes out as 15,000 times 1 minus V per 5 by D12. 1 minus V per 5 by D12 works out to some 68,000. 68,215 comes out as the first part. 1 minus V per 5 divided by D12 comes out to me as this particular number. That's the first part. Now the second part is, as long as the person is alive, right? As long as the person is alive, I want the number. Now this is where I'll take it as V per pi. So basically, as long as the annuitant is alive. So after 5 years. So this is where we are looking at the present value is being V per 5 times 5p60 by the time he reaches 60 years. So I am looking at 5p60 times a double dot 65 by the time he is reaching 65. So I mean 60-year-old person alive for 5 years, so making it 65, and as long as he is alive, he is going to receive the pension of 15,000. So I have V per pi now. I require 5p60. So for 5p60 I require L60 as well as L65. Right? Okay, these things I have to get from the MA for males and PFA table for females under the 4% scenario. So this gives me a 5p60, and I also require a double dot 6512. So we know a double dot 6512, we can very well write it as a double dot, right? We can very well write it as a double dot 65, a double dot 65 minus of 11 by 24. That will give me on a monthly basis. I can very well convert it. So I require a double dot 65 as well. So I will take it from the PMA and PFA tables to start with for this numerical at 4% interest. If I require a double dot 65 for a male, a double dot 65 is 13 point triple. If I have to go for it, it is 13.666 in case of a male. And the same tables, if I have to go ahead computing LX, okay, this L60 also I have to do for a male, L65 also for a male. So I'll take the L60 is 9826.131, whereas L65 is 9647.797. So based on this, I am quite comfortable in terms of finding out 5p60. 5p60 is nothing but L65 divided by L60. And from this, can I find out the second term? The expected present, or probably a double dot 6512 also is I need to find out a double dot 65 for 12. I'll get it as a double dot 65 minus of m minus 1 by 2m. Here it is 11 by 24. So this makes this part, which means I can find out the expected present value here also as 15,000 times, during this period also 15,000 is received, V power 5 multiplied by 5p60 multiplied by a double dot 6512. So this comes out to almost 159,000. The probability that the person is alive, the present value of that is working out to 159,000, and the other one is around 68,000. Now the third scenario is annuitant dies in 5 years, but the spouse is alive. So for that, I can get it as this much: the probability that the annuitant dies and the probability that the spouse is alive, right? And V power 5 a double dot 6012, this is from the female's number that I have to take. Okay, 5q60, do I have it? 5Q60 is with respect to male. We have already found out 5P60, so 1 minus of this is going to be 5Q60. Okay. 5P55 I require for a female. So L55 and L60 I take with respect to female numbers. L55 is 9917.623, whereas L60 is 9848.431. So based on that, I'll get a 5P60 or 5P55 for a female, which is L60 divided by L55. So the probability that a female is alive. And then A double dot 60 also I require for a female. A double dot 60 for a female comes out to 16.652. So A double dot 60 on a monthly payment basis, I can get this as minus 11 by 24. And based on this, the expected present value now I should be able to find out, which is 7500 times 5Q60, which is this number, multiplied by 5P55 for a female, which is this number. Then we also have V power 5 coming out here, and that entire thing I am multiplying it with A double dot 6012 for a female, working out to 1799. Then the fourth scenario is both alive in 5 years and annuitant dies before the spouse after that. So which is where we are bringing in the last scenario, where 7500, both of them alive for the first 5 years, but after that the joint status is lost, where the spouse dies where the annuitant dies before the spouse. So A double dot 60 we already have for the spouse, right? Probably even these I can take out of 12, and both of them I subtract minus 11 by 24, so this will not be existing anymore. So I can take only A double dot 6560, not the bar on it, the joint status being lost. So it is A double dot 6560. So I'll get A double dot 65 colon 60 is one more value that I have to get. So for a 5 minus 5 change out of 65, we are getting it as 12.682. So which means I could have got A double dot 65 with a pipe 60 is nothing but A double dot 60 for a female minus A double dot 65 colon 60, which is the joint status, which is around 3.97. So if I have to get, okay, 5P55 for a male is there, 5P for a female is there, 5P60 for a male is also there. So the overall expected present value here is coming out to be 7500 times 5P55 for a female multiplied by 5P60 for a male multiplied by this joint status, going off the joint status, only female alive but not the male, which is working out to this much. So which is resulting in another expected present value of some 29,000. So all these put together, total expected present value of the various benefits coming out to 68,000 plus 159,000 plus 1,799 plus 29,000, already working out to 258,926. So all this thing got simplified to this. So this is what we typically work out. And of course, even here we are talking of 7,500. Here also we require a V power 5, right? So even this I have to pull in as I have to multiply the same with v power 5, which will give me this much. So overall coming out to 253,756. That is working out to the expected present value of all these payments, which is what should be the appropriate premium, single premium that has to be charged for providing these kind of benefits. So especially it has to be a broken down, clearly understood, step by step process. That is what will provide the proper solution for these kind of problems. All right.